So, Tina, let's go to an aldermanic roundup. I want to start with mayoral candidate Sophia King, who represents the 4th Ward on the city's south side. She laid out her crime-fighting strategies this week. What in the world is she proposing?
So she is one of 8 people so far running. People are still getting petitions. I live in Logan Square. The farmers market has everyone if you want to sign petitions. Some candidates are struggling to get them. But so her plan is a little different than what Mayor Lightfoot has done so far. And she wants to bring out 1,000 retired Chicago police officers. She wants to use these crime-fighting drones to get people in police chases. They would identify the location, and then the cops would come and get them.
The fact that you said that without a smile breaking
right,
out your
I
face.
did quote.
I'm like, she's not going to just go slide over crime-fighting
drones. And also adding 200 detectives. So as I said, this is different than what Lightfoot has done. She also wants to change the work week. As we've seen, there have been all these horrible, cop suicides, medical issues, all sorts of things happening in the past couple of years. So there's a big focus on how many hours should these police work. Hers is actually a lot longer than the mayor's. She wants 10-hour days, 4 days a week, and the regular right now is 3 8-hour shifts.
10-hour days, 4 days a week. That's
right,
not
just
go over
showing that we need people crime fighting.
Yeah,
is what she's trying to show.
Why the fists?
I don't know. It was supposed to be quotes
for the crime fighting
for the video.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
One that I saw in there that really caught my attention was, I believe not only are they offering signing bonuses, but a $10,000 down payment if you're a first-time home buyer. I mean, it seems like we got innovative strategies for bringing people to come work for city institutions. I feel like there are millions of Chicagoans who might be more interested in city jobs. CTA is trying to hire. The Chicago Park District and pools are trying to hire. They want more teachers to stay in the city. Maybe start using some of these strategies that y'all using for CPD, because I'm hearing crime fighting strategies that are going to come through the police force. But then at the same time, Sophia King is using her $100,000 micro grant to invest in private security in her ward, which to me communicates that, police do not keep us safe. And so we're moving to alternative methods. So when both are getting money, it kind of feels like we're kind of just, tossing money off the side of the road.
Well, you mentioned that private security in Bronzeville there. Give us some more detail there, Jacoby.
So the plan is that a neighborhood group is coming together with a private security group in the so the office will collaborate with ex-cons for community and social change and Halo Security Group. And Sophia King is going to use the $100,000 micro grant that all the alder people were given to use at their own discretion to invest in private security. Now, let me say this straight up. I understand that, communities from Logan Square to Bronzeville to Lakeview, everyone has been, concerned about public safety and what are ways that we can invest to keep our communities thriving, to feel safe as we walk up and down the street. And private security is one of the first things that people reach for. My question is, well, if we know that we need to invest in alternative methods to policing, how are we also looking at a budget that sees policing financing going up? How are the strategies for, improving public safety, continuing to invest in, carceral models of safety, but at the same time saying, well, communities need to be responsible for keeping themselves in a way that isn't necessarily community policing, but private security. And that concerns me, because when when you're somebody who lives between Hyde Park, who finds themselves on 47th Street, I'm already worried about being profiled by the people for whom my tax dollars fund, AKA the police. But this micro grant is also my tax dollars. And so I'm now potentially going to be profiled by private security and my neighbors inside of my neighborhood. And so I don't see how I, as a citizen moving to Chicago, benefit from this on a daily basis.
Such a good point. Jumping to our friends over at YouTube, Angela says, seeing police all over the place makes me more nervous. Police themselves seem plenty violent. And she also says, in regard to Sophia King's plan, crime-fighting drones sounds like they have their own moral compass and agenda.
Yeah, that sounds like the plot from Far From Home.
There's also some privacy issues there, too.
Huge privacy issues. Drones. Yeah, no, I hear that folks are sounding off here on YouTube. Shamrock says we need to invest in education, not private security in neighborhoods that can afford it.
Yep.
Thoughts, Ray?
Well, it's a tough issue that many mayors have wrestled with, obviously. And we've seen so many issues here that have grown in proportion under the Lightfoot administration. And it's also happening around the country. But it also strikes me that another piece of this equation may be to look at the private security and whether those are cops who are working extra time and then they're spreading themselves thin, and then they could be on a short fuse as a result of that. So it's hard to say, hey, you can take this cop job and then you can also be a private security person. Maybe there would be even more people doing that if they had 3 days off a week.
Shamrock Bloom says crime-fighting drones wouldn't prevent the killing of Adam Toledo by a Chicago police officer. I don't get it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, Jacoby, over to 42nd Ward Alderman Brendan Riley, who warned about the possibility of fraud in the city's gas and venture card giveaway. What happened there? What did he say?
I definitely took this warning with a grain of salt. For people who may not be familiar, back in April, City Council voted pretty close, 26-23, to pass the gas giveaway and venture card giveaway. I actually believe Sophia King was the only person who wasn't able to vote because she had COVID-19 at the time.
Oh, okay.
So just an interesting link there. But even then, Alderman Riley was not one of the people who voted for this, practically labeling it a giveaway. And so we saw 50,000 gas cards, 100,000 venture cards given out. And now Riley came back during the city council budget hearing in which the inspector general was attending and said, we should maybe investigate this from fraud because someone in my ward came up and said they were able to use this at a Walgreens to get $50 or $60 extra dollars, or, they were able to load more on a venture card. And I'm going to just say it. I don't care that people who need money for transportation were able to get a couple extra bucks for some extra items. And I think Riley drawing attention to this definitely means that people who have otherwise maybe discarded those cars, thrown them in the trash, are probably rifling through their junk drawer right now trying to see if they can go take that card to get a little extra $50 or $60. And so we know that the people who ultimately got these were the most vulnerable people in our city, the people who needed extra cash at a time in which, they couldn't sit in those long Willie Wilson lines, right?
Yeah.
For gas and groceries. And so I'm not really with, kind of painting a broad strokes picture of the people who receive them as potential perpetrators of fraud. I don't think it helps to uplift the most vulnerable amongst us.